There we go.
How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good, good. Looking forward to your trip?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not looking forward to the flights.
Oh,
We live in the UK. I live in Suffolk, but I fly out from London, so it takes about 36 hours if I have a changeover. Depending, it can take like somewhere between, let's say, 28 and 36 hours.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, I have interviewed you before. I think it was a phoner in 2019.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Before the dreaded COVID, I think. Was it before COVID?
It
I
was
think it was,
before
wasn't it?
COVID.
Okay,
Yeah.
man.
It seems so long ago, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It was a completely different world.
And I was very judgmental with my approach to you last time, and I feel so sorry about that. But yeah, it was very much because I'm such a Nirvana fan, and I wanted to know, the difference between your tribute band and what a cover band was. For those who may not have read the interview, can you explain to them what you feel Nirvana Tribute is giving back to the fans of Nirvana?
I think, well, we just try to do justice to the music. That's the main thing, and to Kurt's memory. Um, when I stand on stage, I try to forget about Jon O'Connor for the hour and a half or hour and 45 that I'm on stage. So I try to bring people as close as they can get to that experience of what it must have been like, because I didn't get to experience that either. I was a little bit too young at the time, and Kurt sadly left us. But we try to give them that experience. We try to give them, the show that they never got to see, or the tour that they never got to see. So if we can keep doing that as faithfully as possible, but we do introduce kind of like fun elements in there as well. I used to stay quiet a lot on stage just because Kurt didn't speak too much, and I have an Irish accent, and I don't like to sort of remove the kind of the fourth wall or whatever. I don't like to do that. I like to keep people in the illusion. But we've been introducing some fun things lately into concerts and into shows and stuff like that, just to for fan interaction and stuff like that as well. I think that's been quite fun. But we do try to keep it as faithful as possible when we're on stage. And I think everybody that leaves kind of our show, they leave with that feeling that they've seen something special. You know, Even
Yes.
people that weren't necessarily fans of us to begin with.
Exactly, because I did come away from your show loving it, loving the experience, and I understand what you meant about the fan interaction as well, and I really love the guitar smashing.
Yeah, we enjoy doing that. We definitely enjoy doing that element. It's hard to do it every night, but we do our best.
Well, you did it in Melbourne, so I was happy.
Okay, good.
Which
Yes.
song is most challenging for you?
I guess there's a couple of tracks. There's a piece in Serve the Servants that always had a particular meaning for me. I won't say what it is, but there was a line in there that always had a particular personal meaning for me. Not so much anymore. When I sing Love Buzz now, I'm kind of generally singing that to my wife that's normally stood somewhere to the right of my side of the stage. So I normally sing that to her. That's my emotional thing now, I guess. She won't be coming to Australia with me, so
That's
it's not even on the set list because I feel bad that she's not there for me to sing it to her.
and how do you feel about touring in general?
I like it. I like it. It can be hard, especially runs like Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, because you're gone for a longer period of time. Um, Sleep is something that escapes you for a while because you tend to get we sometimes get back from the venue at like 1:30 in the morning, and we make our phone calls home because we're on the opposite side of the world. And we generally do that for half an hour, and then try to sleep. And then somebody batters our door down at like 4:30, 5 a.m. and we're off to the airport again and to the next place and to the next town, next setup, next
Do you
show.
get to see much? Have you got any fond recollections from Australia?
Yes, yeah, I've gotten to see quite a bit of Australia, and I've had some time off in between shows there. So I've spent some time in Cairns and spent some time in on the Gold Coast and stuff like that, which I will do again this time. I'll have some time on the Gold Coast, so I do get to see quite a bit. Probably not as much as I'd like to see, but at the end of the day, it's not a holiday. It's you know, because that makes me laugh. People think, oh, it's amazing. You got to see so many things, right? And it's just like you never sleep. You always party. You see the world. It's like, but it's not like that. You don't. It's not like that at all. You find you're chasing sleep a lot of the time, and you're seeing what you can see in and out of moments of even when you're on the road and you're like when you're driving, you're still switched off because you know.
Yeah.
But I see as much as I can, and I love the country. It's beautiful. I'm a big coffee drinker. I don't really drink anything else. I gave up alcohol like 6.5 years ago and stuff like that. So coffee's become my drug. You know, I don't know how I used to do that, and I was a big drinker, but I didn't bring it on stage so much with me. You know, you'd see me on stage maybe with a beer or a glass of wine or something, but I'd very rarely drink it on stage. It was mostly after I got off, I became a complete disaster. And then the next day, I don't know how I used to function. You know, I probably didn't see a lot of the world then. I was probably a lot of the time sleeping. Yeah, I was that guy where you had to write it on the back of my guitar where I was, and you know, you know, I can look back on those things now and laugh about them.
Yeah.
Not the
Oh
time.
no, you're adulting now. What's going on?
I know, I know. I'm a grandfather now. I am a
No way.
grandfather now.
You're joking.
Yes, I am a grandfather. I'm not joking. My son, who is 25, him and his girl, they had a little girl there like 11 months ago, 10, 11 months ago. But my daughter, she also has a little boy who's just over 2 now. He's heading towards. Yeah, I know,
Wow.
right?
Are they close to you? Do you get to see them much?
We talk on video a lot, but I live in the UK. Me and my wife live in the UK, and everybody else lives in Ireland. So we try to get over when we can, and it's difficult though. It's difficult with touring and distance, but you know. But this is where technology is great. Technology is great for that stuff.
Are you doing any tours in Ireland so then you get to see them?
We're looking at setting up something in Ireland. It's been a while since we did some shows in Ireland, but the last time was really, really good. It's just been really strange. It's like people, you know, why don't you come back to Ireland? Why don't you come back to America? Why don't it's just like there we only have so much time. And we're not you know, this is all we do. We travel and we tour all the time and stuff. And we try to cover as much ground as possible. But we're up on like I think it's like 32 countries or more now or something like that, or 34 countries. There's only so much time in the year, but you know, but we will all these people that ask us to go to Brazil and these different places, you know, people asked us to go to Australia for man, it must have been like 8 years or something, right? I just kind of bombarded with messages and we got there. We got there in the end. So we will
And
get
this is
there.
the third time.
Yes, this is the third visit to Australia. It's crazy, right?
It's
There was
fantastic.
that gap, the COVID gap as well, that we had to kind of postpone a couple of things, I think.
How did you cope?
It was difficult, you know. Again, this is all we do. So when you take that away, like even like forget financially, if you take away performing from be it an actor like that acts on stage, or you take this away from somebody that's used to performing and doing stuff, it's so hard to explain to somebody what that does to you mentally. I lock myself kind of away playing drums and stuff a bit, and I try to get out of the house, I guess, as much as possible to spare my brain. But like all the time, there's a longing in you, and you forget about it. And COVID went on for so long, you forget. You're like, what is this feeling I have inside me? But it's that longing to get back on the stage again.
Have you just come back from a tour now?
We've been playing in the UK. We've been doing the festival runs in the UK and stuff like that for the past while. So we did a show on Saturday night at a slightly smaller venue, and another similar size venue on this Saturday night, and that's all in preparation for we've added some songs to the set list for Australia, so. And we don't rehearse. Our rehearsals are live performances on a stage someplace in front of an audience. It's the only way that you can really try something and make it work, you know. I don't think Kurt liked rehearsing either. I think they proudly announced it at Reading, like, we rehearsed last night. So,
and you're doing the In Utero 30th anniversary. I can't believe it's 30 years.
I know, right? Now that makes me feel old.
That makes me feel old. I remember when I first had Bleach, and I still have to say School's still one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I love School. I love playing School. That is demanding, vocally demanding live.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's of all the screams, it's strange. Like, a lot of people ask me that. Of all the screams in the Nirvana set, and I do quite a lot. I do screams where they were on the record that I don't even need to scream, but I do those screams, and I love it. But it's the no recess part in School, in the chorus of School. It's that climbing note. That takes it out of me. It definitely does.
Oh, well, I'm hoping it's on the set list.
Okay, we'll have to see about that.
Thank you. How do you protect your voice?
I mean, I drink a lot of green tea and honey, you know, but I drink a lot of coffee that dehydrates my voice and stuff as well, which is probably really bad. But I don't do anything really special, you know. Again, I don't drink alcohol, so that one major dehydration factor isn't there. I do smoke, but I try to limit that, and you know, I'm careful when it comes to just before the show. Like, I'll smoke like an hour before and cut it off, and then like after I get off stage, I smoke like a mouse, just try to protect my voice. But I don't do anything special. I really don't. I've just been screaming, using this thing as like as an anger tool for like the last like 40 years of my life. So
if you had to describe the Nirvana sound, how would you describe it?
Freedom.
Freedom?
I think so, yeah. I think it's like a musical freedom. And Kurt once described, I think, punk music, if not Nirvana's music, as like a musical freedom. I think you can't get any more of, I mean, it can be really cathartic for me on stage and stuff, you know. You can, I get out a lot. I get out a lot during these performances and stuff. But yeah, I think the freedom of I see people in the crowd, and they either they stand still. Sometimes there's people that it hits them emotionally. Some songs hit them emotionally. You can see people, they cry openly, and there's other people that just go crazy. And I love that, because that's what that music is doing for those people. It's the freedom to express whatever is coming out in that moment. And I think Nirvana touches on something in you to allow that expression more so than any other band I've ever encountered. I think they really had something special for that.
What about if you were to describe Nirvana in food form?
In food form? Wow. I guess they're pizza, aren't they? I mean, because they, you know, yeah, there's a little mix of everything in there. There's a little bit of delight for everybody, I think. There's always something hidden just under the surface that you're not really quite sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
yeah, I've never had to describe Nirvana as pizza before.
Well, hopefully what's hidden under it, is it mushrooms or olives for me?
Oh, okay. I'm not a fan of olives on pizza. I like olives, but I'm not a fan of olives on pizza. I can do pineapple on pizza, however.
One last question. Because our magazine's called What's My Scene, what is your scene? And I'm going to see if it's different to what it was 2019.
Probably is, but I think, right, my scene right now is just being comfortable in my life, being comfortable with family and friends. I think that's my scene, you know. I think it sounds very old man of me again, but I think that's where I am in my life. I'm at a point where I like the people that I know the people that I can trust, the people that are friends, the people that work with me, people like Marcus and Brad in the band. Love those guys. People I've worked with in the past, like Mayano and Ali. Again, if they're out there, love those guys. Um, but yeah, just the people that you can trust and the people that you know love you and you love them back. And that's my scene. That's
I
that's
love
it
it.
right there.
Well, it was very similar. It was traveling and family.
Right, okay. Yeah. See, now I've dialed back on the traveling and now it's more family. I
Yeah,
think it's since I got married. We got married last year. And
yeah,
I think ever since that, it's like I'm a little bit more grounded at home now, even.
yeah,
So it's like when it comes to preparing a big tour, it's like even like this tour is a little bit diced down from what it was. If you remember last year,
yeah,
we kind of narrowed down kind of like the big cities, and we realized some people were traveling in from the smaller cities that had seen us there to see us in the bigger cities anyway. So we kind of narrowed everything down to everything is focused. And I think that helps everybody get home faster too. Come and say hi and stuff and take a band photograph when you're over there and stuff
that'd
as
be
well.
great. Okay, I just
All
got to say bye, Grandpa.
right. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Cheers.
so much. Bye.
Bye. Bye.